All right, so we just got this thing aired up here. No frame on. Just trying to see where the trigger needs to be. But what I got going on is there's like a leak on here, like on the back, when the you can see the back block is back right now. So now it's leaking. I don't know if you can hear that. So that means that there's a leak coming when the air is pushing the ram forward. And the air stops now when the ram's back. So we know that the air is trapped here. But once it gets to the other side of that O-ring inside of this ram, it's fine back here. But once it's in front of that O-ring, that's when it starts to leak again. So there's an O-ring that sits back inside of here that's supposed to seal around this part of the shaft, but it's not doing its job for whatever reason right now. So we're gonna try and take this apart and get after that. I'm gonna degas the marker. All right, we got the ram off and I've loosened this thing up. You can see how egregious I am with the Loctite on there. So just getting this unthreaded all the rest of the way. So we got the front part off. That's not our problem. This ram shaft, this is not our problem. The problem is inside of here, where we need to get the O-ring that's inside of there out and get that repaired, or whatever gunk is inside of there causing a leak. So I'm kind of spinning that around off the threads. We'll get this thing cleaned up. Got these big ass towelettes. They're called like crocodile cloths, but you can see I just use those to clean up the threads, and does a great job getting all the prior Loctite off of there. I'll just use my fingernail to get down in the groove so it's ready to go, and we got to seal this thing back up. But now we got to try and get inside of there. And if I look down inside of there, you might be able to see there's like a little nub that we got to get out. That's our O-ring. Something was not sealing right on the ram shaft with that O-ring. This is the pick that I use to get inside of there and try and get that thing out. So I'm just gonna go in and try and catch it and then push on it a little bit, see if I can get it out of the groove. Push on it just a little bit. All right, let's see. You can see that that's kind of blocked up now. Now I got enough of there, kind of blocked up out of the way. That means I can get on there maybe from the other end and try and pull it out. Yep, here it comes. So, oh, shit, fell off, but here's a little O-ring, number 6. I was down inside of there. And what that does is it seals against this. So it rides on there, on the ram shaft, and it's just pinched inside of this. And so that's what keeps the air from coming back out the back of the ram shaft, but it wasn't doing its job for whatever reason. Something was in there gumming things up. I don't know if that had a nick on it or there's just some other material in there. So I'm taking my pick, just trying to see if I can clean anything more out of there before I just replace it. I don't want to put just back into the same problem. So I got my pick in the groove, trying to clear that out. I'm gonna come at it from both ways just in case there's like a different angle that might get something. further, like once I'm done with this, I'm just gonna clean this thing out a little bit more. We're gonna get it with some alcohol and a Q-tip. So I've seen somebody else do this, but like you can make your Q-tip a little bit thinner to get on the other side of the ram shaft by just pulling some material off. Now you got a thinner, smaller size Q-tip. So we'll come at, like one side of this is like a little bit fatter, and then the back side of it's a little skinnier. So that's why we need the two different sizes of these swabs here. And I just use some isopropyl alcohol on the cotton swab. You just fumbling around here. But anyway, so I got a cotton swab, just gonna get in there, clean that mofo out. Getting a little gunk on there. You can see it's a little dirty, so we're getting something out of there. That's good. Feels like I'm doing something. And I got the alcohol on there, might as well just go around the threads that are right. Gonna have to put that Loctite on again, so those are nice and clean. So the Loctite is gonna be able to seal against the metal, and there's not prior material there that's gonna stop it from sealing. So I'm coming down at the skinny end on the other side of things, where I had the little thinner side of the cotton swab. I'm just cleaning the other side of the threads, so, you know, might as well since we're here. Just, if I'm cleaning things, might as well just clean them. So just using the cotton swab to go around, get that cleaned up. Now, I don't want the alcohol in there to degrade the O-ring that I'm gonna put back in place. So I'm gonna get another cotton swab, again, making a thinner side, so I can kind of clean out where we put that alcohol and dry things up before we put the replacement O-ring back in there. All right, so you can see I'm getting a little more material, debris off when I'm doing this cleaning pass, so you know it's worth it. Going back on the other side, other end, working on that, just trying to come from different angles, make sure I'm getting that all cleaned out. You know, it's probably a bit extreme, but this one has been giving me troubles. So got that. Now we need to get the 006 down in there, the new one. So I said it's a 006. That's what I grabbed out of my bin. Just make sure I got the right thing. I'm just testing the fit on there. That's the right one that we want on there. Just testing the fit around the shaft. Okay. So now we need to get this down into, you get this O-ring in there. There's a little groove and it is somewhat tough, but I'm gonna take this, pinch it a little bit, and we're gonna shove it down in the smaller end. That's what she likes. All right, so we got that in there. We're gonna use the ram shaft to push that in, but we want something to kind of plug up the other side so it doesn't go too far. So, you know, get something in each hole. We're gonna get one here that kind of fits about the right size for the wider end. And we're gonna kind of put it down in there. You need to be a little bit past where this opening is. So you gotta get in there a little bit, and then we're gonna push the O-ring in there and try and get it to kind of fit in the groove. We'll wiggle it back and forth a little bit, and it should go in, because it doesn't really have any other place to go except that groove, because we got it blocked in there. And just push back and forth a little bit. I think we got it. Yep, okay. So now you can see all the way through. The O-ring is seated there in place. And so I'm gonna throw a little oil on the shaft. I'm gonna oil just the front of this. I'll just oil it up and put some oil on the shaft. That'll sit on the O-ring down in here, right? So now we're gonna slide that guy in, and I'm gonna spin it so I'm not hopefully damaging things as I put it in there. It makes it just go past that O-ring a little bit more smoothly. All right, now we're past, things sliding well. Now we're gonna throw some Loctite on the threads. So I just do a ring around a couple threads up here of the blue. All right, cool. So you can see just a ring and the blue Loctite, and we will throw this on here. And we're just gonna thread it up. Should spin easy because there's nothing there blocking it. All right. And then we will clean it up again. I got these nice crocodile cloths. All right, so there we go. It's put back together, but gotta wait 24 hours or whatever. I am no machinist, don't got an O-ring on there to seal it up. Maybe one day I'll get a lathe and make that happen so I don't gotta wait all the time, but I'm not gonna F around with pushing this back and forth because I don't want to mess up that Loctite tight with any pressure, but we are rebuilt. We will try this again tomorrow night. All right, so we're back with this Autococker with the ram that we took apart and rebuilt, put the new O-ring down here in the base, the 006. Tried to air it up again, and with the black 006, this guy, still getting a leak. So went into the O-ring kits and ended up pulling out another 006, one of these colored ones, and what we got happening here is the leak is now stopped. No more leak coming out back here. So just slightly different specs in the O-rings, and we're good now. So when I'm messing around with these, trying to get the timing right, I put a piece of tape here so I know where the trigger hole is for the timing rod. And so then when I have the frame off, I can play around, and I can make sure I'm in the right spot for setting this length. So that's what I'm doing there. And yeah, leak's gone. And it's working. So we're good to go and can throw the frame back on there. Same cocker, frame's on. Gas it up.